Welcome to the 45th Annual Philadelphia Museum of Art Craft Show, and welcome to today's Artist Talk featuring Betsy Bauer. Betsy lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and her current work uses rocks and natural cane to create simple but highly expressive pieces influenced by her surroundings. Betsy's wrapped rocks feature rocks from the Southwest that she has collected over the years, as well as cane that is knotted in the tradition of Japanese basketry. Betsy is also a painter and an interior designer who received her BFA from the Philadelphia College of Art, which is now the University of the Arts, which we are all very familiar with. She began her early career in New York City, where she frequently visited Central Park to connect with nature, especially the large rocks that can be found throughout the park. Her pieces are highly collectible and can be found at the Museum of Art and Design in New York City in their gift shop, as well as the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum shop in Santa Fe, among other museum shops around the country. We are so pleased to have you here today for the first time, Betsy, with us at the Philadelphia Craft Show, and thank you for being with us. We'd love to get started and see a tour of your studio and learn a little bit more about how you do your work, and give us some insight onto how things work in your studio and what influences you. So with that, if you could just take us around your studio, that would be great.
Great. Hi, Ami. Nice to see you today. I thought I would start out with showing you a little demonstration on making an actual rock here. This is a stick wrapped rock that I've made, and I'm actually working on an order for the Museum of Fine Arts and Design in New York City. And I'm in the middle of kind of making a lot of different stick rocks, so I thought I'd just show you one. So the sticks themselves come from the land around my house, and they're beautiful juniper tree sticks. They have a beautiful silvery ghost-like quality, and I love the way they look on top of the white rock. So, and the white rock, this is actually from a local landscape architect friend who, when I started doing this and getting totally obsessed, she said, come on over to my rock yard. So I get to go there once in a while. And she has some Asian influence in her design. So I get my black and white rocks from her. So this is, for a stick rock, I would pick something nice and oblong that looks good with a stick. And then this is a stick I've already prepared that just really hugs the rock beautifully. So that's fun because every stick is unique and every rock is unique, and then I kind of respond to that. So I have some cane here that I've been soaking for a few moments, and I will unravel that. The cane is really crazy. It gets like bird nests sometimes. So
the white rocks are very unusual. What kind of stone is that?
Yeah, they are. I'm not sure exactly where they come from, but they're kind of like a white calcite-like stone.
And they're matte. I guess they're matte.
Yeah, they're matte. Yeah, so they're definitely very beautiful. So here you really need like a few thumbs, at least 2, maybe 4. And I actually will take it off the rock now and do a little twist. And when I first started doing this, I had one little pamphlet from Donna Sakamoto Crispin, who's actually no longer with us, but and she was a basket artist who started to wrap a couple rocks. And that was one of the first rocks that I saw like this. And I sent away for her pamphlet, which had like one little tiny instruction, and just did that over and over and over. And then got obsessed and started designing with more Southwest influence from where I live.
You didn't have any basket making experience training.
I wish I did. It would have made things a lot easier. The first 3 months, I was definitely wondering, like, I really wanted to stop. It's funny because I thought the other day it was a little like my Buddhist practice, my Zen Buddhist practice, because you're sitting there and you're all uncomfortable and you're thinking and you're just like learning to accept what you're doing or what life is. And the same thing with the rocks. It was so frustrating. It was painful. And, I would just redo rocks like 10 times. And it took me about 3 months to begin to feel like this was something I could continue. But I was so obsessed, I just kept with it. So here I'm talking and rapping.
It's probably not easy. And how long have you been doing the wrapped rocks?
About 1.5 years now.
Oh,
So
so very recently.
yep, recently. Yeah. I actually 3 decades ago, I lived after art school. I lived in Hoboken, New Jersey, across the river from New York, and lived near a huge bamboo factory that took up a whole block near my house. And so I also worked at New York Central Art Supply, which had amazing Japanese papers. So I would spend my whole paycheck on Japanese paper and bamboo and go up on my roof and make these big structures with bamboo and paper, and which I have no photographs of. I was just totally in the moment. I
Did
know.
you keep them all there when you moved away?
Yeah. They just kind of, it was very ephemeral. I would make them and take them apart, and just, it was really process.
Right.
And yeah, so that came back to me when I first started doing this. I was doing interior design and I was painting, and I just really wanted to make something smaller, like the paintings I was painting large, and it was tons of energy. And I started doing paper and Japanese paper, and the bamboo came back to me. And then I was looking at a lot of bamboo, and I saw Donna Sakamoto Crispin's work, and just ordered a bunch of bamboo. And I remembered everything I made 3 decades ago, and I just
all came full circle.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
here we are, and I don't usually wrap and Zoom, but I guess that works.
We're learning new skills in this new
Exactly.
era. So
Yeah.
one that you're doing now, is this normally, would it go this quickly, or is this just for our benefit? Would take much longer normally to do it?
Yeah, it would take a while to prepare, and getting the rock and the finish work. Actually, I won't finish this on the Zoom, but the finish work, there's a lot of like getting it really precise, and then because the cane is soaked, it actually shrinks a bit once it starts to dry, so it really hugs the rock. So that's nice. And usually I don't usually use glue. Sometimes if there's something going on where it needs a little securing, but because the cane is so sturdy and it really shrinks quite a bit, it hugs the rock. So here I am finishing it in the back.
And do you ever mix different types of cane or colors together in one piece?
I have a very specific aesthetic. So I really am using the natural cane, black cane, and there's a rust color that I dye. But I don't really like to, I'm not all about a lot. I was in my painting, but I'm not all about a lot of color. I really like the natural
simplicity of it.
Yeah. So then here would be a lot of finish work, and I love this design. It's like a spine or a musical instrument. When I'm really adjusting these sides, it feels like a musical instrument.
Yeah.
So there would be now more finish work, and in the back I would totally adjust it before it dries.
Right.
So there we are. And now I'll give you a little tour of the studio.
Thanks.
We'll have a little walk around.
Are these some of your prints on the wall?
Yeah, these are actually, it's shibori. So it's the Japanese paper. And these, I was doing this for about a year before I started with the rocks. So, but I just wanted, I love the shibori, but I really wanted something small you could touch and hold in your hand. And there was this yearning in me for, the rocks were just calling me, I guess.
So we see all of your rock collections. The
Yeah.
large one is really amazing.
Yeah, the large ones are great. I have a collection in my yard of those, and just slowly when I'm inspired, wrap them. And this is quite a different selection of the different ones that I
Mhm,
make.
mhm,
Um, some calla lilies are beautiful right now.
mhm,
And I also do some healing stones like rose quartz.
mhm.
This stone is apatite with a sea glass bead on it
Mhm.
and some little crystal
And
hearts.
will those be available as well on your site for the craft show?
They will, yep,
Yeah.
they will. And
Okay.
they each come in a little gift bag, a little jute gift bag with writing about the rock and the meaning of the rock. And
Mm-hmm.
yep. And here's the cane itself. So this is great. This comes in all different thicknesses. And I just pretty much choose what's right for the design. And this can all become a bird's nest. I recently hung some new cane, but it gets pretty wild, kind of pulling it out and sorting it, and it
Right.
has
Yeah,
a life of its own.
I'm sure. How do you suggest people display your work or use it? Is there something that you had in mind when you started making these?
Yeah, I think, for me, it's really about celebrating the beauty of nature and the simplicity. So I think having it in your home as kind of a touchstone, like a place to think about nature, actually almost like, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a Suiseki stone. This is kind of a divergence here, but this stone, it's a Japanese Suiseki stone that was my grandmother's. She traveled to Japan quite a lot in the 60s. And she gave me that. And people in Japan have them in their homes to remind them of the mountain and nature and contemplating nature and simplicity. So almost like that, with either a collection, people do like to collect the different designs, but either a collection in a bowl. A lot of times, black ceramic, it's really beautiful on black ceramic bowls or plates.
Yeah, it seems
Um,
like you need more than one. You have to get a collection. They look very nice all together.
Yeah, yeah. And people's, sometimes on an altar for prayer or meditation. And
Mhm.
I've also had quite a few commissions for people remembering loved ones and memorial services. A dear friend just lost her mother and commissioned me to do 12 for each person there in
Oh,
memory of her mother. So yeah, I mean, I think, they're just something so solid and grounding
mhm,
that they just feel good and peaceful and calm. And
right.
so,
They
yeah,
can order if they can select the type of rock. Like, do you have a variety of rocks that people could select from if they wanted to create their own, their own piece with something in mind, like a color or a combination? Or do you?
right. Like I do offer, different, like for instance, this design, which is the Japanese cho knot. Um, I do offer that in different color stones and different color, natural on natural, or this one is on a black stone with natural cane and rust.
Mhm,
So yeah, there's different variations. And I work a lot with people on commissions.
mhm.
So sometimes it's their own rocks and they send them to me, and
That means something to them or from
yeah,
somewhere that they live. The ones in the back that are stacked up are, I guess, ready to be wrapped.
yep.
In the
And
background, nice
I've
flat.
done a few experiments with actually wrapping the whole stack. So
Oh,
that I don't have that on my website, but that, slowly I come up with new designs and add them. And
mhm, right. That's beautiful. Well, thank
yeah,
you
and
for showing us everything. We're
sure.
getting a
And then
tour.
I'll just show you a little. This is the work table, and then just a little peek at my inspiration shelf. And these are some of my paintings, some older paintings and shibori that I've done. And then some rocks that I'm just waiting, like just beautiful shapes and things that I just kind of put there until I get inspired to wrap them.
How do you select the rocks? Or do they just, you pick it up and it speaks to you? There's like a special feeling you get when you pick up one that you know is the right thing?
Yeah, I think a lot of times it'll be about shape as well. I mean, sometimes there'll be a really beautiful shape that will inspire me. Like, I have a great friend who goes on her sailboat by herself every summer in the East Coast, and she's a photographer, so she'll photograph like these, she'll send me these beautiful images of the sea. And one day she sent me a beautiful image of the sea at night. And I was really thinking of her and being on the sailboat. And I designed this rock, which I call the wind knot.
Oh, yeah.
And it was about an elegant sailboat in the dark sea at night.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
So
great.
that was kind of, I knew that rock, and I had a
Mhm.
couple put aside that were these long, elegant shapes. And
Had the same feeling, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's Thank you. That was great. That was really interesting. And thank you for taking us on a tour of your studio. We're looking forward to having you in the show this year for the first time. I know we won't be seeing you in person, unfortunately, but you will be on our
Next year,
website.
maybe.
Next year, hopefully you'll be in person, and obviously you'll be on our website and people can find you there. And hopefully we will meet you in person in the future. So thank you so much for spending time with us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ami. I look forward to meeting you in
Yes.
Philadelphia one day. And
Yeah, you come
great
back to your
success.
roots. You were here for school, so you know
Exactly.
Philadelphia. So thank
Yeah,
you so much. All right. Take care.
great. Thank you, Ami.